Ladies and gentlemen, we're certainly glad to be here tonight.
Welcome to the Moon Men Podcast.
Don't be afraid.
A little escapade of mine involving a couple of planets which shall be nameless.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
I was outside earlier enjoying my coffee. Right? That was when I called you this morning.
Right.
And it's really starting to feel like fall. I know we said it last week and we were saying it in the Discord, but it's really starting to feel like fall here in good old Tucson.
It's because of the sun.
Yeah, also the sky. I've noticed I don't know if I'm weird for noticing this, but I've noticed
weird.
like how the sky turns into a different hue, a different kind of blue. And the sun too. Everything just feels cooler and it feels more like fall, like autumn. You know what I mean?
You know what's crazy? I don't see people decorating their houses for Halloween.
A little early. As of this recording, it's the 27th, so it's not even October yet.
I feel like that tradition died. Trick or treating.
No, it's well, trick or treating kind of, because Gen Z doesn't like to go out. Well, not even Gen Z. What's the Gen after us?
Gen Alpha.
Gen Alpha doesn't like to go trick or treating. I know for a fact my little brother hates trick or treating. So like that's dying off, but the Halloween spirit lives on through people like me who try to keep it going.
Yeah, but people only take advantage of Halloween to go partying.
Yeah, but I'm trying to encompass it all around. Like for the last week and a half, I've been doing nothing but watching scary movies. I'm producing scary content for the YouTube. I'm producing scary content for the podcast. You know, I can't go trick or treating anymore. I'm not allowed. Otherwise, I would. And I know you would too if you could. I mean, come on.
No, I didn't like trick or treating.
Trick or treating was fun as hell. When we went that one year, the last time I ever went trick or treating, that shit was fun.
Nah, I never liked it.
But we'll save all that for the Halloween special when we go into Halloween shenanigans. Welcome back to the Moon Man Podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Devin.
Devin. I feel like there's gonna be some bad audio. I don't know why.
Why?
I don't know.
You interrupted the intro to tell me that.
No, like I heard you say welcome back to the Moon Man, and then like it didn't sound good.
Welcome back, people. I'm Devin. That's Eddie. You want to say something, Eddie, to the people?
Yeah, I want to say that I don't want to do the show anymore.
He has no choice. He signed his life away. Anyways, welcome to the first episode of the Spooky Hour Season 2, people. 2023 edition. This year, we have, 5 Spooky Hour episodes? Including the Halloween special?
Yeah, 4. Well, 4 Spooky Hours episodes and then 1 Halloween special.
Yeah, but altogether it encompasses the Spooky Hour. So I'm saying 5. I opened up a program on my computer.
Oh no.
There you go. We're good.
Okay.
We got 5 coming this year, people. Me and Eddie are doing a remote episode today. Just because, honestly, we had no reason to do a remote episode, but we just decided to do it.
It wasn't what's the word?
Convenient?
It wasn't convenient since we're gonna be having such a short episode.
Not extremely short, but we're not going for a very long time because with the Spooky Hour, it's supposed to be condensed topic-based episodes, you know, that are really hyper-focused on whatever we're talking about. So we just thought it would be a waste for us to meet up to record for like 40, 50 minutes and then leave because Eddie doesn't like hanging out with me anymore. So we just work and then I take off.
Yeah, all he does is talk about girls, talk about what girl he fucked last week.
No, don't put that narrative out there because with Bork's episode last week, it's just gonna change everything, man. Okay.
Devin's a man whore.
No, I'm not. I'm the most restrictive out of our entire group. Actually, Eddie's out here acting more of a man whore than I am, but we're not going to get into that.
No, I'm not.
Yes, he is.
No, I'm not.
But we're not touching that this episode, okay?
I want to touch you.
is going to be focused on dreams and weird experiences with dreams and just everything around dreams. Okay, I haven't thought of the title as of now, but you saw the title. You know what you're getting into. It's
Dream,
dreams.
dream, 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 dream.
Dream-
I'm
I'm letting him do his thing. Go ahead.
Dream, 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 dream.
Only the OGs know where that's from.
Where's that from?
Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Why'd you make me
Okay.
tell them?
Okay.
Why would you make me tell them after I just said?
You didn't have
Whatever.
to answer.
And then you were gonna be like, you don't know where it's from, and turn it into a whole thing.
What if he did?
Anyways, we're doing dreams this episode, and Eddie and I compiled a bunch of notes and stories and coincidences for this year's edition of the Spooky Hour. Much like last year, it's gonna get progressively scarier, quote unquote scarier, with every week. And this year, we really wanted to focus on making it overall more spooky, because we heard the criticisms last year that Eddie was being a little chicken. But we're trying to work with all of you guys. Okay, so we're trying to make it enjoyable but spooky at the same time, so we don't overdo it. Anyways, you said you had some dream stories for me. Well, okay, you said that you had yourself a dream, some weird dreams. Tell me about those.
Well, one came from my dad. There's one time, it was like in the middle of the night. I was probably like 12 or something. And he was sleeping in his bed and everything. And I guess he was dreaming of me walking into the bedroom and talking to him. And right as I walked in, some guy with a shotgun fucking shot me and made a big ass hole in my chest. And coincidentally, I walked in and called for his name. And right as I called for his name, that's when he woke up, and he thought that someone was actually gonna shoot me with a shotgun.
So it was almost a premonition.
Yeah, because I was calling his name, and I was saying "Dad, Dad," and he thought that once I got shot, I was saying "Dad, Dad," and that's what woke him up.
So your dad had a dream about you dying, but have you ever had a dream where you died?
Not where I died, where my whole family got mowed down. So
mowed down?
Yeah. So
what?
Yeah, I was young too. I was probably like 8. I had a dream that my whole family was outside my house just like talking, and then Morgan Freeman pulls up in a black car, and he gets one of the miniguns from like Call of Duty, the ones that are on a
Like the
helicopter. Yeah. And he got out and then just mowed them down. And
what?
Yeah.
Why is Morgan Freeman shooting your entire family?
I don't know.
Was there a reason?
No, there wasn't. Like I said, they were all standing outside the house talking, and I was gonna go out and talk to him. So I walk out, I turn around to close the door, and when I close the door, that's when I hear the car pull up, and then my whole family got mowed down, and I was just crying, and then that night, I think I woke up screaming. Like, I was still asleep, but I was screaming. And my dad had to shake me awake because I was screaming in real life.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And when I woke up, I think the thing that was triggering me was there was a car alarm going off somewhere on the street. And that made me think that it was actually real. I don't know.
You know what's weird is when we were discussing making this topic the focus of the episode, I had thought back and I was like, 1, we had already discussed dreams a lot in some of our previous episodes, but 2, I feel like I had explained all my weird dreams, but then as I was doing research for this episode for some future things here, I remembered all kinds of weird ass dreams that I had that I don't think I told on the show. Like, I'm pretty sure I told the one of where I went to my nana's house, I got out of the car, and then I got shot by somebody who was robbing my nana, and then I died right there. But I was also remembering dreams where like my siblings and stuff were getting
Excuse me.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
I also remembered this dream where one of my siblings was kidnapped by like a werewolf and it ran down the street with them. Of course, I told the dream where I got experimented on by aliens.
Oh,
But then I also
you definitely got abducted that day. Was your anus bleeding
no,
when you woke up?
no. And as far as I know, I didn't have any probes or anything because like they input probes into like the back of your ear or like wherever.
That's just a fucking movie, Devin.
No, the movie's based off of facts.
No, it's not. It's a stupid ass movie.
The movie it showed the fucking Los Angeles lights that you were telling me about in Bork's episode.
Yeah,
It has facts littered throughout the movie. And way back in the day, I had researched, alien probes and stuff, and I found a bunch of forms. And one of the common things is they'll put it in the back of your ear. Sometimes they put it in the wrist. It's usually head oriented. They always somehow put it into the head.
bullshit. I feel
At
like
least that's what they say. That's what I don't know.
Bullshit,
I didn't have
bullshit.
anything when I woke up.
it's your hair because it's so fucking crazy and ugly.
What does that have
the
to ugly? You didn't have to throw in ugly.
Yeah,
What did
it's
ugly have to do with it?
I'm looking at ugly hair.
Wait a minute. So I also remembered this dream that I didn't want to tell in the podcast. But then I started I didn't want to tell anybody about this dream. But then I started to research more into dreams for this episode, and I found that a lot of people are actually having this dream too. But there's not necessarily an explanation for it, at least from what I could find. Keep in mind, I only researched for about 30 minutes on this particular dream.
Mm-hmm.
But the dream in question is a dream where I went around my entire house killing my family one by one. Yeah, this happened. I had this dream like a couple months ago.
Oh,
And
I
it's
think you
not
told
like-
me. I think you told me.
No, I didn't tell anyone. I was
You
thinking about telling people.
You told me. We were on
When
a
did
Discord.
I tell you?
We were on a Discord, and I was telling you about the sex dream I had, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I had a weird dream too," and then you pulled me aside and put me in another channel, and you're telling.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I remember that now. Yeah, it was that dream. But at the time, like, I didn't have any reason to like hate my family or have like, pent up aggression or anything like that, right? It was just a odd dream that I had randomly. And so the particulars of the dream is like I wake up in the middle of the night and I don't have a shotgun or anything like that. I don't have a gun. I go into the kitchen and I grab a knife or some sort of sharp object. I forgot which. And then all my family sleeps upstairs. I sleep downstairs as of right now. And I went upstairs and I first walked into my parents' room because I knew I had to get rid of them first in the dream. And it was like some serial killer shit.
Jesus.
Because I went over to my dad first since he's the light sleeper. And I covered his mouth and stuck the knife into his throat at the exact same time. And then I just watched the blood come out. Since I hit his vocal cord, he couldn't scream, right? Because it completely tied off his vocal cord. So he wasn't able to scream, and if he had screamed or gurgled, I would have covered it with my mouth, with my hand.
With your mouth? You would have been kissing him.
I would have covered his mouth with my hand. And so then I went over to the other side of the bed and I did the same thing to my mom. I slit her throat. But with hers, I slit her throat for some reason. I didn't puncture her throat. I just slit her throat and walked out. And then I went over to all my siblings' rooms and I ended up killing all of them. And then I don't remember what happened after that. The dream ended. I remember that I was getting ready to leave the house, but that's it. And I looked it up, and other people have had dreams of killing the entire family, but there's no real explanation for it. The one thing I did see was that like it's pent up rage or aggression towards your family, but again, I had no reason to feel like that at the time. It was just a weird dream that I had. A pretty psychotic dream. I woke up pretty disturbed, mainly just because as it was taking place, like I could feel it. Like, you know how when some movie scenes play and you can like, it's almost like you're witnessing it in real time, like something that's really gruesome or something that's really shocking.
Yeah,
When
Halloween Rob Zombie.
Yeah. So like watching that, it almost feels like you're watching it in real life, and it's like real world disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this felt like, because as I was stabbing my dad's throat, I like felt it. Like I felt like I was watching it happen in real time. Like I felt the emotions that were coming with it, whatever they were. And I like could almost feel the blood. Like I felt like it was a real action. Like I had done this, and I woke up like simultaneous. I woke up kind of scared that I had, done this in my sleep, and I couldn't remember it. Weird as fuck.
So now that months have gone by, why do you think you dreamt that? Like, does it make sense now why you dreamt that?
Not particularly, no. I haven't really thought about the dreams since today, and now there's more reason for me to be upset with my family, but I'm not dreaming anything weird about them or dreaming about killing them. It was just an odd dream, like in the middle of the night. Like I dreamt that I killed my whole family. But I've dreamt about killing people before, which is weird.
I think it's all just the horror media. Like it's you're consciously grabbing all this information and you're putting it somewhere, and when you're dreaming it comes out.
Most likely, but I figured it would have came out like when I was writing some of my books. Like when I was writing Violet, which is supposed to be the novel that I sell to publishers. I figured that I would have had more dreams like that with that story, seeing as it's so fucked up. But I wasn't having any kind of weird dreams like that.
Well, probably because you're expressing it. That's why you were expressing it. And
Maybe.
with all this horror media that you're going to be consuming, you have no way of expressing it. And the only way you could express it is through your dreams.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily explain why it just came out like one random day in March. I think it was like March.
I don't know. We don't, like you said, we don't even know what dreams are. They just happen.
I even tried looking into that today, but it was so beyond my level of comprehension, or rather, it was so beyond what I cared to talk about this episode that I didn't even look into it that much. Like I spent like hours today trying to find that one story I was telling you about, where this guy was like traveling into different worlds using his dreams.
Right.
The time travel one specifically, because there was a very particular story that interested me, but I could not find it for the fucking life of me. I found a bunch of stuff related to it, but that one, I had encountered a story where this guy was able to travel into different worlds through his dreams, and he woke up in another parallel universe to ours, and he wasn't doing it consciously. Like he woke up and he was in a world that looked exactly like his, except everything was slightly different. So, Coca-Cola was spelled with like a K or something like that. And then people were the same, but they treated him differently because their relationships with him were different.
Are you sure you're not? Are you sure you're not thinking of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse?
No, I haven't seen that yet.
Or Into the Spider-Verse?
No. It was something akin to that, where this guy was like interacting with people and they were treating him completely differently, and I don't think he was with his girlfriend in this new universe. But I couldn't find that fucking story for the life of me. I did find one about Jesus grabbing people and teleporting them through time in their dreams, which was weird. But that, to me, it was more religious mumbo jumbo.
Do you think, like, let's say you have like a time traveling dream? Do you think you actually traveled to another universe, another universe? Like, have you ever had like a dream like that? Like, let's say in the dream you're a famous writer, you're a famous actor or something, and it feels so real that you actually believe that you were living that life.
No, I've never had dreams where I woke up, I was a rock star, and then I woke up playing the guitar or anything like that. I've never had dreams where I lived in another reality either. I've always had weird symbolic dreams. Like the one where I was being abducted by aliens, like they took me, they abducted me, or the one where I'm killing, like scenarios almost, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like full of symbolism and they don't really mean anything at the same time. But I've never had dreams where I'm like, I've never lucid dreamed, and I've never had dreams where I'm like, let's say a famous writer and I'm signing autographs and things like that. I've never had that. Have you?
Well, yes and no. I had a dream once where I was at a red carpet event, and you know, like the paparazzi was taking pictures of me, and I was wearing my normal attire that I wear every day, and I was walking towards a theater, and when I walked in, like everything just went away. So I don't know if that's like what were we calling a premonition?
Premonition, yeah, it could
I don't,
be.
I don't know if that was a premonition for me or I was just living in another universe. I've had a lot of sex dreams. Yeah,
I've had like maybe 3 or 4 sex dreams my entire life.
I've had like a good like more 10 or more sex dreams with strangers, with people I know.
I did have this one sex dream. I have to bleep some of this out because it's just a lot. But I'm gonna tell you. I had this one sex dream when I was in like 7th grade about a girl from our school. And it was very, very bizarre. Like it was almost like a fascination type of dream. Like it wasn't like I was stalking her or anything like that, but I remember like this cave, like a dungeon almost from like a medieval fantasy movie. And she was being tortured at the top of these stairs by like evil demons, and they were like, she was chained up, and I had to go and rescue her, and I was like fighting off all these demons to try to go and rescue this chick. And then I got to the top and I slayed like the master dragon or whatever it is. Yeah, the dragon. And then I free her from her chains and then the dream ends. But I've never had like a outright sex dream. And I say that's a sex dream because she was like naked and stuff. Like they were torturing her.
I had a sex dream about one of our teachers in middle school.
Which one?
It's
Oh my god, she wasn't even she wasn't that pretty. Like she wasn't sex dream pretty.
Like in the dream, she was face down, ass up.
Face down, ass up.
Face down, ass up in the science room. And
you're just giving it to her on those black tables.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because
was this 13-year-old Eddie like in the dream? Like it was your 13-year-old body?
Yeah.
So it's baby Eddie just fucking going to town?
The reason I remember is because I watched that one Adam Sandler movie where he fucks a teacher.
He fucks a teacher? Oh. Is it the one with the dreams?
No.
Not the dreams. It's the one with the children and the gerbil. What the hell is it called?
No. He had sex with this teacher in like middle school too. In the movie.
Oh no.
In the movie, but I don't remember the name of the movie. And also because around that time we saw me and a couple other guys saw her thong. Like she bent down. Yeah. She bent down to like grab a paper and we saw her thong. It was red.
No teacher should be wearing a thong at school.
Yeah. Cut her name out.
Obviously, I'm gonna cut the names out here. I gotta make this anonymous.
Yeah.
But I was gonna save this for later on in the episode, but this kind of ties into what you were talking about, I guess, with like dreams manifesting themselves and guys being able to travel into different worlds. So, have you ever heard of the analysis and assessment of gateway process?
No.
It's a paper written by a government official explaining what's known as the gateway process, which is a way for people to travel into different dimensions and realities using their dreams. You've never heard about this?
No. I thought you were going to keep going. That's why I said quiet.
Well, have you ever heard of OBEs or out-of-body experiences?
Yeah.
So it's pertaining to that, and I kind of teased this in an episode a couple weeks back where I had said that I had found something relating to binaural beats in my weird dreams, but I kind of brushed over it in the episode, so this is a good chance to re-examine all of it. So in the report, this guy, Wayne McDonnell, makes the claim that our reality is only surface level, and there are other states of reality as well as other dimensions beyond our physical world. The gateway process allows us to access those states of reality and see these other worlds. Now, from what I can tell, he doesn't really elaborate onto the type of worlds they are, but it's kind of just, use your imagination. right? Because he branches off into so many different things in his report that it's kind of hard to focus on just one specific thing. But like specifically out of body experiences, you can use the gateway process, which I'll explain in just a second, to have an out of body experience, which allows you to then travel around our physical world in a spiritual form. But it can also theoretically teleport you into, parallel universes or other states of reality beyond our level of comprehension as of right now. Because you have to use binaural beats to access these realities. So, binaural beats, how do I explain this in a way that makes sense?
Are binaural beats like the beads that you put in your ass, but they're just made by beats?
No, not beads, beats. Beats.
Oh.
It's hard for me to say with my accent. Binaural beats are a special type of frequency that uses two sounds at different pitches to trick your brain into hearing a whole other sound. This plays into actual theoretical science, including the properties of waves and particles on a subatomic level. Basically, you're playing one sound in your right ear and another sound in your left ear, and your brain, trying to make sense of both sounds, creates a whole new sound, and then it's able to change its vibrational frequency because all things in the universe vibrate. So when your brain is
like
able
this pussy.
I'm gonna ignore that. When you're able to change the vibration of your brain and get it to a higher frequency, it's then theoretically able to comprehend more complex realities that vibrate at higher frequencies. And that's what this theoretical science paper is proposing, that all these alternate realities and dimensions are accessible by using binaural beats and sleeping and meditating with them, because then it changes our state of consciousness into that of something more at a different frequency, which allows us to teleport and access them. And by doing that, when we achieve this new level of consciousness, we're actually able to comprehend and understand these other dimensions while sleeping. So like right now, just thinking about it, it kind of hurts your brain and it's hard to understand. But if you were doing it, you get all the energy from your brain and you focus it, right? And then you're able to travel into this new reality. And when you're in that reality, you can actually understand what's going on. So it doesn't matter if the reality is just a bunch of microorganisms floating around. You're able to understand it and see it for what it is in that reality. If you were able to access a 4D plane of existence, you would understand the 4D space in real time as you were there. So that's what it does. And that's what the paper is kind of proposing. Again, it's changing the vibrational frequency of your brain waves and harnessing the mental energy, and it allows you to travel into all these different states of existence. Now, this ties into dreams because his proposed method of doing this is by sleeping and using binaural beats. But again, you can also achieve this by meditating, which is what I had done a couple months ago when I was meditating and I was in that dome thing and the voices were speaking to me. I had used binaural beats and entered a state of consciousness that put me into this weird dome thing. And I was seeing things that I couldn't even understand at the time. And apparently that ties into all of this, which is known as astral projection, because you're taking your astral plane of existence and moving it into a whole nother reality. And theoretically, you could travel into parallel dimensions and like different worlds even using this technique. And you can use it to trigger out-of-body experiences where you can then explore our world or even theoretically travel back in time. Because according to a bunch of theoretical scientists, time isn't even linear to begin with. So then you could just start going wherever possible in your astral form.
But don't you think that could be like a placebo effect? Like you think you're going back in time, but in reality you're just dreaming. Like you think you're in this dome, but you're dreaming. You think that you hear the voices, but you're dreaming. Like none of it is real.
Well, I think when he was researching this paper and proposing it, because he was submitting this to the United States government, so he couldn't just say you dream and then go back in time. He had to give them science and mathematics to back it up. And he used quantum mechanics and the theory of relativity to help explain all of this. And it actually, lines up on a mathematical basis. And some people are using this and things associated with it, things parallel to it, to explain spiritual deities like the Hat Man, who you'll see in thousands or hundreds of thousands of people's dreams across the globe, like dream surfers who are able to interact with people on a nightly basis. Like, isn't it weird that the Hat Man, that shadow guy, is able to interact with so many people across the globe who have never talked to each other before? And they all see the same thing and they all report the same thing, that he's like a dangerous, malevolent being who brings terror and feeds off of negativity. If it was some sort of spiritual being who knew how to change their vibrational frequency and allow them to travel into different realities or travel throughout our reality in a way that we couldn't comprehend, that would make sense. Wouldn't you say?
Yes, but I'm just skeptical about the whole thing. I'm not skeptical. I'm not skeptical. Skeptical about. Yeah, I got it. I think I got it. I'm not skeptical.
You got it? Do you got it?
Yeah, help me out. Skeptical. I'm not skeptical about a lot of shit. But that's a reach, Devin. I think that's a reach.
Well,
and let's say it's real. At what cost? What are you paying the cost of? Like, let's say you do all this and you can't come back from it. Is that the only downside, I guess, from it?
Well, according to Wayne McDougal, Colonel Wayne McDougal, Donald.
You got this. You got it. You need help?
Wayne McDonald. There we go. It's not actually like... There's no cost to doing this. If you were to start astral projecting and having out-of-body experiences and traveling throughout the dimensions, it's not exactly hindering your existence, because according to him, once he had figured out a way to do this on a regular basis and start scientifically studying it, he found that all human life and all human consciousness derives from this, because he says that our world and our reality and everything that we know is only surface level. It's at the top of everything, right? And that's why our brains are able to understand it and interact with it. But if we're able to access the subconscious and go into this astral plane of existence, then we're able to tap into different realities that we couldn't even believe existed, right? And beneath all of it is a realm that he calls the absolute, where all human consciousness is derived from, and where all human consciousness will return once we die. It's apparently a shared conscious space where everybody who's ever lived comes from. And then when you die, you retain all your memories, you retain everything about yourself, and you carry it back into this collective consciousness to help it, grow even more.
So what you're basically saying is we're living in a computer-generated system, and we're all just part of this computer, and none of our lives really matter.
No, not a computer. It's a different kind of plane of existence where your spiritual self is preserved and all your memories are preserved. And it's like a connected, conscious, collective...
Neuralink.
Almost.
You're talking about Neuralink.
No, not Neuralink. It's something completely different from that. There's no way to rationalize it into our understanding. But all humans are derived from this space of matter, and we all return back into it with our collective consciousness and memories and everything we've learned. So theoretically, you could activate astral projection, go into the absolute, and learn skills that you never possessed beforehand. Kind of like the dome that I had experienced a couple months ago. You see what I'm getting at here?
Yes, but again, I am, what's the word?
Skeptical.
There you go.
And according to Wayne McDonald, this practice is also what he believes to be the basis of spirituality and religion. And that it manifested itself and showed people throughout the years in different ways, mainly through the subconscious and through their dreams. Because through his research and through his science, he was able to find similarities between Eastern practices and Western practices, and even like the Hebrew Bible, and connect it to God in a sense. So in his mind, or I guess what he's trying to say in a sense is that he found what he believes could be God. And if we're able to access this dimension using his process, we're able to get godlike powers and control our reality and our future. If your will is strong enough, you can bend your reality to shape the way you see it. Because if you are absolutely certain that this is what it is, then the universe has no choice but to conform and change to fit your perspective, thus changing everything around you, using the astral projection and going into the absolute and using all this theoretical science.
I think this Wayne guy watched Inception and he's like, you know what? I'll make a paper out of this and make it smart.
Well, the only thing is he discovered all this back in the early 70s and wrote this paper about it way beforehand.
So he took LSD and then wrote the paper about it.
Why do you immediately discount it? There's a lot of scientific backing and mathematical backing that goes into it.
Because everyone is full of shit. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how credible you are. You can still be full of shit.
Well, have you heard about the theory discussing that our entire universe is nothing but a dream? It's an illusion.
Explain.
This one's really dense, so I'm going to try to explain it the best way I can. So, let me explain it to you the way the video was explaining it to me. So if you get a bowl of water and you drop ink into it, right? There are literal billions of ways the ink can flow throughout the water, the space it can absorb. Essentially, there are infinite amounts of ways that the ink can fall into the water and form its shape. The most likely is that it's going to fill up the entire space of water and it's going to take up every minute area of space and turn it into whatever color ink you put into the water, right? But theoretically speaking, it could turn into like a bunny-shaped orb. It could turn into a black dot. It can turn into a teardrop. It's all possible. Because if you're only putting a drop in, it could change the way its mass and matter take up space, and it can change it into any shape in that space of water, right? So keep that concept in the back of your mind as I explain the rest of this. The universe is theoretically going to die out in googles of years, in an amount of time that we can't even comprehend on paper, right? But when it does, the universe will be a finite size. When the universe stops expanding and all life inside of the universe has died out, there's no more universes, no more stars, no more galaxies. There's nothing going on inside of the universe, and it's nothing but dark matter, mass, gravity, and some particles. The universe will die out. It'll stop expanding, and it'll just be a big, giant black sphere, like a snow globe, 36 billion light years wide. A space that we can't even begin to comprehend. At that point, it's going to get surrounded by a barrier that nothing can escape from. Meaning, it has all the foundations to create more life, but not in the way that we expect it to. So to skip over all the theoretical science and physics that are involved with this, it's like a cauldron that could create life. And if you give it infinite amount of time, it will create life. It'll create universes. It'll create galaxies. It'll create anything and everything that could ever exist and will ever exist. So, using that as the foundation and using the water example from before, there are infinite amounts of possibility on how all these particles inside of this dark matter orb will manifest themselves and shape the universe around them. And according to the people that were researching this hypothesis and this theory, they were suggesting that it is scientifically and mathematically more likely that our collective consciousness in this dark matter orb is the result of a galaxy and universe that died out quintillion million years ago. And our collective consciousness is just that of floating brains trying to make up the world around them in a way that makes sense. It's more likely that the particles of this dead universe combine to make up floating brains that are then trying to perceive life inside of this orb than it is likely that you are a human being living on a planet inside of a galaxy inside of a universe. You know what I mean? Am I losing you? You look dead over there.
You kind of lost me because I don't.
Okay. The universe will theoretically die out in Google amount of years and be near the size of 36 billion light years long. But because it's a size, that limits it as a finite size, right? This essentially creates a ball of dark matter, a snow globe of particles with infinite amount of time to grow. In that infinite amount of time, every possible thing that could happen, like a universe being created, will happen. But it is theorized that we are nothing more than a floating brain inside of this dark matter snow globe, because the particles that lingered there after everything died out created everything. So the likelihood that it created our universe as it is right now is so low that it is very improbable that it happened. Like the likelihood that in this space where anything could happen and will happen, it created not only our universe, but our galaxy and all the other galaxies and all the stars and our planets and everything the way it is right now is so low. Whereas it created just a bunch of floating brains in this black soup that are all trying to make sense of their reality. It's proposing that instead of it creating everything the way that we think it is, it created a brain. One singular human brain. And that brain is floating around in space, and it's trying to make sense of its world. And so then it created its life. Now, it's also theorizing that there are, let's just say, 100 quintillion brains in the universe, and they all believe that they are humans on Earth. That's more likely that happened than it creating the Milky Way galaxy and then creating the sun and the moon and the earth and creating everything the exact way it is. It's easier for the universe to make a brain that can make all that than for the universe to actually make all of that and then make a human with the brain to comprehend all that. That's the dumbed down version, but I'll link in the show notes the original videos and source documents if you guys want to go read through that and try to understand it. So this again ties into the belief that if the universe is just an illusion, or the universe is just the surface layer of dimensions on top of all the other dimensions, then again you can mold the universe into whatever you want it to be using your will.
So let's say you're right. What's past those dimensions? Is it more dimensions, and what's past that?
According to the Wayne theory, I'm just going to refer to it as the Wayne theory, the gateway access theory. It's the absolute, the shared collective consciousness. If we're thinking about the universe as an illusion, the whole snow globe thing, then the scary part is at any time our entire reality can just get turned off instantaneously because it's an illusion. We're a dead universe pretending to exist in the space where a real universe used to live. That's why we might see reflections of the old universe in our universe, like ancient civilizations that we assumed to be there, but actually existed in this universe way back when it was alive, quintillion million years ago, Google amount of years ago. That can also be why our version of physics doesn't match what scientists believe versions of physics to be, because they have math that lines up and then our universe just doesn't align with that math. You know what I mean? It's like we're living in a ghost version of our world in the shell of what used to be a world.
My head hurts, Devin. My head hurts.
This is the dumbed down version. I had all the scientific stuff right here, but I don't want to get too deep into it.
My head hurts. Give me a minute. Hold on.
Now, assuming either one of these theories are true, or just the fact that our universe is not what it is, it can also tie into like mass hysteria or dreams affecting people's lives. Because, like, did you know 2 years ago, right around the height of the pandemic, everybody was reporting strange dreams all at the exact same time. And it's a phenomena that's been known to happen throughout human history, where masses of people will just start reporting strange dreams, all pertaining to certain things.
Like what?
Well, during the pandemic, when all the people were reporting strange dreams, they were getting reports of like, let me see, monsters, demons, or dinosaurs, usually chasing them or attacking them in some way. The end of the world, orgies at the end of the world, the development of new substances and chemicals, being attacked by bugs. That was actually a big one. A lot of people were reporting being attacked by bugs or wasps or being eaten alive by caterpillars, shit like that. BDSM and lots of sexual acts, tsunamis, tidal waves, tornadoes, men in hazmat suits, and a bunch of shit pertaining to that right around the time of the pandemic. And scientists and news articles and all kinds of people were kind of come out and explain everything as it was going on. But there was no real explanation for it. They were saying that these people were sleep deprived and then they started to sleep, and so now they're having weird dreams. It's because they're stressed out from the pandemic that it's causing them to have these kinds of dreams. But it was completely out of nowhere. All these people just started to have all these random dreams, and then out of nowhere, everything just started to stop and it went back to normal and everybody forgot about it. And what's weirder is that people were reporting having these dreams, right? But mainly they were reporting having these dreams to like their friends and their family and, you know, people close to them. But they weren't reporting it to like the government or the police. And yet the government and all these government affiliated associations were coming out and trying to explain everybody's dreams as if there was like a hysteria going on. Except it was a hysteria that was being talked about in people's homes and not out in public. And so it got a lot of people thinking that the government was somehow tapping into people's dreams and was able to monitor what people were seeing. And they were trying to explain it, which ties into the government research into dreams. And Wayne McDonald's hypothesis on how to view dreams and how the government can use them to gather intelligence. Because he was reporting this to the CIA. And the CIA could have theoretically started using this kind of dream hopping to go and view the dreams of America's population as a whole. There we go. That one works. You know what I'm saying? Like, it even ties into some of the leaked reports of CIA experiments where they had been looking into how to spy on the American populace using like telekinesis and that kind of things.
I feel like a lot of it comes down to, like I said, placebo, area. How many of those people?
Sheep.
How many of those people were sober?
I don't know. How am I supposed to go and ask all these people in these reports if they were sober?
Because let's say they're all people who've taken drugs, weed, meth, acid. They probably don't, or even food. They could have just dosed the food with something, and then it caused them to have weird dreams.
I would say it is theoretically possible that a lot of these dreams and events could have been influenced by some third-party substance or just substances in general. Because, I mean, it's reported that weed will mess with your sleep. It'll have you have more vivid dreams, and then at the same time, it can block some people from having, you know, deep REM sleep, which is where you'll actually dream.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there's something linked to that. I don't know, but all throughout human history, people have been reporting weird things with dreams. You know, mass hysteria when it comes to dreams, shared dreams, seeing the same person in dreams. The government's been looking into how to use dreams. People who have experimented with dreams and science and spirituality have claimed to visit other dimensions and other realities, and claim that there's more out there in the universe. And some scientists have theorized that the universe itself is a dream, and it's in the shell of a dead universe. It's all over the place. So I doubt that every single one of these reports and individuals is under the influence of, you know, substances and chemicals.
It could be. You know,
The phenomenon of dreaming itself is just a weird topic.
yeah, because we don't know what dreams are. But I feel like when there's a big group of people claiming that they all have had weird dreams, there has to be like you said, there has to be a third party substance. It could be they all smoke weed, they all take drugs, all their foods got contaminated. They're all sleeping the same way. Of course, they're going to be having a shared.
Yeah, but the likelihood that that is actually the case with a lot of these reports, or the probability that that's the case, is so astronomically low that it's not even worth mentioning.
Yeah, but it's not zero.
It's not zero, no. But the likelihood that that is the explanation for the weird dreams rather than, something about dreams itself and our state of reality being the explanation is just it doesn't even seem comparable to me. Because like we just agreed, we don't really know that much about dreams. So for the layman, it's easier to discount it as like sleeping position rather than trying to address that dreams might be connected to a state of consciousness that we're not able to really understand. Like being able to predict the future, being able to supposedly time travel, being able to talk to dead loved ones.
Predicting the future in your dreams is kind of crazy. Because didn't you say something about manifesting your future in your dream?
Yeah, I mean, if you're able to change the universe the way all these theories suggest you can, and you're able to tap into other universes and you're able to tap into different points in time using all your dreams, then all these things are theoretically probable. You're able to see yourself walking down the red carpet about to go into a movie premiere and know that it's coming in like 10 years because somehow, subconsciously, you were able to tap into a different version of yourself. Or manifesting like a new car because you see yourself having a car is so bad that the universe has to give you a car because your version of reality must be obeyed. Like it's a law that we don't understand yet. A law of physics, a law of
those theories, in my opinion, it's all bullshit.
Okay, think of it like
that means you are the center of the universe.
But yeah, that's what all these theories are kind of proposing at the end of the day. Think of it like Inception, right? Or The Matrix. If you believe that you're holding a spoon in your hand with the utmost certainty, you have a spoon in your hand at that point, right? Whether we're living in a simulation, we're living in an illusion, or we're living in a state of consciousness we're not able to understand, whatever we're living in has to abide by your view of the world. It has to manifest a spoon in your hand at that moment because you believe it so hard and so truthfully with not a shred of doubt in your mind. And if you start seeing it like that and the universe doesn't align itself with that, then it'll break the simulation, the system, the illusion. That's why a lot of people believe you can manifest things into your life over time by seeing it somewhere down the future so that it's easier for the system to incorporate into your life. The thing about that, and it even ties into spirituality too and religion, because they say that if you believe with all your heart that God is going to do this and Jesus will do that they can. And even Jesus said that praying and believing led him to do all the things that he did. It ties into it because he's bending the fabric of our universe to his will. He believes it without a shred of doubt, and so it happened. You can tap into that with the dreams. You can see what the universe actually is. You can manifest it to your will.
But don't you think that it could all just be a placebo effect?
I don't know. I don't think anyone's ever going to be able to truly experience it as of now because no one's able to truly believe the way that Jesus did or the way that these theories propose you do. Because I can tell you, like right now, Eddie, close your eyes and believe that you are sitting on a mountain. With your entire heart, believe you're sitting on a mountain. Use your entire brain to manifest yourself sitting on a mountain. And you will, for the most part. 50% of you will believe, yeah, I'm sitting on a mountain right now. But the logical part of your brain is going to tap in and go, no, you're not. You're sitting in your room. It's a Wednesday. It's hot outside. You're in Arizona. And then you're going to, as much as you want to believe with the right side of your brain, the left side of your brain is going to pull you back down to reality. And the reason that they say that these dreams are a way to bridge the gap is because when you're dreaming, the left side of your brain is turned off and it's just the right side of your brain. So you're able to do all the things that you would normally be able to do if the left side wasn't tethering you to reality or your version of reality. You get it? Like if I tell you to manifest a spoon in your hand right now, you wouldn't be able to because the logical part of your brain is going to be fighting you the entire time. It's going to be telling you that's not possible. So there's no way you could ever manifest a spoon into your hand.
So you're saying the only way you could access that is through dreams?
Is through dreams. And the only way to learn how to access that and take control of your dreams is by using these supposed methods, binaural beats, out-of-body experiences, lucid dreams, so that you can start bending the fabric of our universe and peeling back the curtains and seeing what, seeing the computer, seeing the guts, seeing whatever it is that's out there, and being able to comprehend it and understand it and share it to the people. It's a lot, huh?
Let's go back to fucking telling stories about stupid dreams. This hurts my head.
Take it away, Eddie.
It hurts my head. It hurts my head. It kind of freaks me out in a way.
It's like you don't want to believe it, but you can kind of understand it, right?
Yeah. I don't believe it, but I understand it, and I could try to comprehend it, but I don't know. It just freaks me out because like, what if this is all true? It's just a what if.
Yeah, or like remember that one experiment we did like a year ago where we wrote a story that the characters were aware that they were in a story or something like that, and they were able to change it. Remember that? Yeah. In my short story, the characters were able to interact with the world because they knew they were in a story. They were talking to me directly, and then they were able to request things, and I would write it into the story. Like a video game or a TV show where they know they're in a video game or TV show, and then they're able to change the script, right? What if our world was like that? But instead of somebody writing the story, it's actually an omnipresent force that has to obey our commands as soon as we become aware of its existence. Like, what if that's a rule? That's a big what if, but if that's the case, then our reality is... If that's the case, everything we know about the universe and our reality and ourselves fucking falls flat on its face.
And let's say that is all real. What is the point of life at that point?
At that point, I would say the point of life is whatever you want it to be.
Okay.
Or maybe there's an even deeper meaning to life that we can only access once we know that and once we're able to fully comprehend that. Because, yeah, we can theorize right now and be like, whoa, if that's it, that's crazy, man, and then go on about our days. But it seems to me like that kind of revelation is the kind that's supposed to be life-changing, and that you have to change your entire way of thinking. Like, your reality isn't normal anymore. You can't go on thinking that the door is a door and that the house is a house. Everything is different. Everything is way beyond your level of comprehension. And if you're able to completely align yourself with it and tune yourself into it, then you're probably going to enter another state of consciousness where you're able to comprehend your next task. Because at that point, you might not question what the meaning of life is. You might be trying to question what the universe itself is, or something even beyond that.
I'm glad we started off the spooky hour with this topic, because it's not necessarily scary, but it's freaky because it makes you think. It's gonna make the audience think.
If they're able to follow along, because I think I did a poor job explaining it.
You always do a poor job, but for the most, if I could understand, they could understand.
Yeah. What? Wait. What? Always a poor job. I think. Yeah. It's an existential dread.
Yeah.
It lingers with you.
Yeah. But
it's like realizing the universe is fake, and it also kind of ties into panic attacks too. Because one of the main things I felt is that the universe is fake. I don't exist. The universe doesn't exist.
My kids are not going to exist.
Yeah, those are the main feelings I get when I have a panic attack. That all of this is a lie. Everything is fake. And what if that panic attack is actually me breaking through and seeing the universe for like literally half a second? I'm able to understand concepts that my mind and my spirit are physically not ready for, and that's why it gets me scared. I break through and I see that everything is a lie, everything is dead. We live in a black void, and then I have to get pulled back down into reality, because if my spirit experienced that right now, it would just fold in on itself.
Right. And I
Who knows?
and I feel like the only way you could access, not dreams, but the only way you could access that is when you die. When you
I think it's both.
when
I think you could probably access it through
no,
dreams,
because
theoretically.
because with dreams your physical is still alive and breathing, but when you're dead, your physical's dead. Or when you're dead, your physical body is dead, so you have nowhere else to go to. With dreams,
Your physical body's alive, but it doesn't mean you're
but you
tethered to
no,
it.
but you get to go back to it if something were to happen. So that's what.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why when you could only access, I think you could only access it when you're dead, because once you're dead, you have nowhere else to go to except forward or backwards. Well, not even backwards, just forward.
As a concept, it makes sense to me. But am I ready to accept it as the new version of reality, and that's what
No.
everything is? No. It's too hard for me to even talk about and explain, let alone comprehend. You know?
I think you bringing up panic attacks is the reason why you could only access it when you're dead.
Probably. I mean, I'm just spitballing here, because it occurred to me as I was saying everything. I was like, well, that kind of reminds me of like a panic attack, like having that existential dread.
Because when you're having a panic attack, you feel like you're dying, huh? Like you're slowly, like
No, with me, because it's panic attacks are different for everybody.
for every.
So with,
I feel like that. I feel like when I've only had one panic attack in my life, and I felt like I was gonna die.
with my panic attacks all throughout my life, it's always made me feel like I was already dead. The universe I know is a lie. Everyone I know doesn't exist, and that my entire existence itself is a lie. And that basically I'm alone in a dark void. That's what I've always gotten. And it brings on this feeling of dread and fear. And it's like, to put it in a visual perspective, it's like I'm being sucked out of my reality. Like the panic attack is trying to pull me out of my reality, and it's sucking me into a blackness, a big dark pit. And I'm fighting to stay here. And then when I do come back and I snap back into my body, nothing feels the same for a good 10 minutes. It actually feels like I'm seeing everything through a different lens. Like I'm watching myself from a third person perspective. And I know that everything's a lie, and that nobody here exists and none of you are real. Pretty crazy.
It is crazy, and when I zoom out too much, I freak out.
And that might just be you teetering on the edge of understanding our universe.
Because like I believe that I'm the only person alive. Like you said, like no one else is real.
And that ties into the floating brains thing. If we're all floating brains in this dark void, 36 billion light years long, that means that none of us are probably even close to each other. So all our little brains can see in this dark void is darkness. And it's trying to make sense of the darkness. So what does it do? It creates a universe that the brain can understand. And it makes itself think that it's touching physical objects and that it can interact with our world. And then when that illusion starts to fall apart, we get pulled back out, and then we see the darkness and we see how alone we are. And then we jump right back into the illusion, because what else do we have? Darkness and isolation.
You know, all this. Once we stop recording this podcast, I'm just gonna go about my day. I'm not gonna give a shit about what if this is all fake. I'm just gonna try forgetting about it.
The thing that sucks is I don't think I can forget about it. Like I said, I'm not ready to accept it. Like once we turn this off, I'm gonna go about my day. But it's gonna be one of those things that lingers in the back of my mind for probably the rest of my life, and I'll be thinking about it as a concept. Like, what if all this is an illusion? What if there is another state of existence after this? What if we are just cosmic dust from another reality? What if we are able to tap into different timelines or different dimensions or universes? You know, those things, those questions are going to linger on until we all die, and then hopefully we get the answers. Because again, we could die and never know the truth. It could just...
No, I'm 99% positive we will know the truth. And it doesn't matter if it's religion, if it's that fucking brain bullshit you just told me about, if it's nothing, we're gonna know. Because like I said, the only reason we don't know is because we're alive.
Yeah, wouldn't that be ironic too? You only get the answers to your life once your life is over.
Yeah.
A good
Yeah.
cosmic joke. All right, I think this is a good time to start wrapping things up because
Wait. I want to bring up some sleeping tips for people. I
to
have
sleep
3.
better.
No. I have 3. Three things you should never do when going to sleep. 1, don't sleep with the chair facing your bed.
I knew you were gonna say that.
2,
say that.
don't sleep with the mirror in front of your bed. 3, don't sleep with the TV on while there's a TV static.
I think those are good actually. Let me see. Is there anything else here?
4, don't eat spicy food before going to sleep.
Everyone says that, but I don't think it affects anything. I think that's more placebo than anything.
Yeah,
They're probably having a physical reaction, and then they have a bad dream the same night.
Well, it's
They
probably
think that
because I think it's caused because of heartburn and all that stuff.
I mean, practically don't do it because that's just a bad night's sleep.
Yeah.
But like if you're trying to avoid the demons and stuff too. Oh, here's a good one. Here's a really good one actually, because this happened to me. Sleep with a night mask if you have sleep paralysis or you're prone to seeing things in your sleep. Because if you have sleep paralysis and you fall asleep knowing that your eyes are uncovered, then when you wake up in your sleep paralysis state, your mind is going to remember how you were when you went to sleep. But if your eyes are covered, even if your mind does wake up, you'll be in complete darkness and your brain won't be able to visualize anything. And plus, it's like a placebo effect that lets you know that you're going to have a good night's sleep. It's always helped me when I think I'm going to have sleep paralysis.
Wait, how do you sleep? I know we slept together that one night, but I didn't see. I don't watch how you slept.
What do you mean? How do I sleep?
How do you sleep? On your back, on your side, on your stomach?
I'm a side sleeper, but I do sleep on my back as well.
So I've noticed that everyone who has ever gotten sleep paralysis sleeps on their back.
Yeah, I've only ever experienced it on my back, but there are certain cases where people will be sleeping on their side and then they have an episode and there's like a demon laying beside them that they can't see because they're on their side.
I sleep on my stomach. They say
you should not do that.
Why?
Because it's bad for you.
How?
Health-wise.
How?
Okay, let me look it up, genius. Here. Give me a second.
Because I've slept on my stomach. I've never gotten sleep paralysis.
What does that have to do with it, though? Yeah, you didn't get sleep paralysis, but...
I feel like I'm 12 again with that much energy every time I sleep on my stomach.
You misalign your spine. You'll experience more back, neck, and shoulder pain.
That's not true.
According to this, that's what it says. You'll end up with more facial wrinkles.
Okay,
it misaligns your hips.
No, I feel fine.
And you are prone to suffocating. But I guess that's just obvious.
I guess if you do sleep on your stomach, put a pillow on your stomach. That's what they say.
Really?
Yeah.
I just don't see any point on sleeping in your stomach and pushing your face into the fucking bed because then you can't breathe. Your nose is all smushed. And...
Oh no, that's why I break my neck so I could sleep better.
I don't know. I'm sorry if you guys listen to this episode at night and this is just fucking blowing your mind, right? Because this is the kind of episode that's scary if you're alone at night.
We should have recorded this episode at night. I feel like it would have been a lot better.
Yeah, but we also would have had a lot more interruptions.
Why? No, I mean like at midnight, dude. Like in the middle of the night.
You wouldn't do it. I've asked you before if you want to record episodes in the middle of the night or like.
Because I'm about to go to sleep. That's why.
But I've asked you like you want to plan episode, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry if this is nighttime and you're listening to this and it's really getting to you. You know, all of this is just theoretical. But you know, at the end of the day, you could wake up and realize that your whole life is an illusion and it could end at any moment. I don't know. Is there anything you want to say to the fans before we let them go?
Listen to the Joe Rogan podcast. It's a lot better than this one.
It's not better than this one, but feel free to listen to whatever you want. We can't control you. I hope you beautiful people have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your night. We will be back next week with the second edition of the Spooky Hour, and we're going to be covering murder cases and true crime, so stay tuned. All right, see you next time.
This concludes the Moon Men podcast. The end.